Today we're inside of our house. We're not working outside like we usually are. We thought we should do a little bit different of a video since we're just putting ourselves out there on YouTube. And we started this so that our family could see the progress that we've made out here and so that we can see the progress that we've made out here. But we thought since we are putting ourselves out there on YouTube, we needed to address a couple of things before we went too much further in this. The first thing that we would like people to know about our family is we are a Christian family. We believe in God. We believe that Jesus died for our sins. And when we were trying to get this land and this farm from my grandma, we were trying to buy it. We ran into a few times where we didn't think it was going to happen. And it was when we finally decided to just leave it up to God. It was His plan and His time. And that's when everything fell into place. So we feel like that's a really important part to address on here before we go any further. The second thing that we think we should address before we put too many more videos out there of our family is our son Damon. And if you can't tell by looking at him, he has Down syndrome. We originally started this because we wanted our family to be able to see the progress that we've made. But now we know that there are other people watching us, so we thought we should address Damon and his Down syndrome now before we get too many videos out there and have people asking us what's wrong with him or why he's different than typical kids. With that, Damon isn't in a lot of our videos because he doesn't like the things that we like. He doesn't like to be outside. He doesn't like to be on this side of the camera. He likes to be behind it and watching the videos. He loves to watch us, but he doesn't want to be part of being with us outside or being with us working on a project. One of the reasons why we wanted the chicken so bad was that it is one of the animals that Damon can sit and actually play with or interact with for a while without getting bored. He loves to feed them, he loves to watch them, but he doesn't want to touch them. He just wants to sit there and watch them or feed them. Since we were on the topic of Damon, we thought we'd just take a few minutes and just do this segment completely about him and how he's changed our life. When I was pregnant with him, we were having some complications and we didn't expect him to be breathing on his own, and we thought that he was going to have to stay in the hospital for quite a while. When he was born, he was perfectly healthy. He was breathing on his own. He was tiny. He was 4 pounds, 14 ounces. And it was then when we were in the hospital, I think it was the first day even, they came in and told us that they thought he had Down syndrome. And I remember at the time thinking, he's breathing, he's okay, it's fine. It wasn't until he was about 2 weeks old that we got the results back, and that's when it hit me, and that's when our family really changed. We have 2 older kids, and one of the things that we noticed right away is that we took so much for granted with the older kids, and we struggled getting Damon to do everything. He took longer to talk, he took longer to crawl, he took longer to do all of these things that the other kids just did without us even working for it. Then we noticed that his speech wasn't coming along. He was saying a few words and that was about it. We did sign language with him. And then we realized he wasn't even like the typical Down syndrome child. He had a bunch of sensory issues and he was scared of doctors. He hated doctors. He hated Band-Aids. He hated being in the doctor's office, the dentist office. Everything was a chore. Between our doctor, our pediatrician, and us, we knew that he had Down syndrome, and we suspected that he also had autism. His doctor went ahead and put it in his paperwork, but we hadn't ever gotten an official diagnosis, and we didn't see the reason because he already had Down syndrome, so what was the point of getting another diagnosis? It was later going to school and some of the things that he struggled with in school, they really were treating him more for the autism than for the Down syndrome. The teachers would have more training for the autism and be able to help him more, so we decided then last school year that we'd go ahead and get the official diagnosis. So yes, you can tell by looking at him that he has Down syndrome, but we explain Damon to people more like he has autism. You will understand him more if you think that he has autism instead of focusing on the Down syndrome piece of it, because people typically think he's going to run up and give them a hug or he's going to want to sit and play with them, and he really is not social. For us in our videos, it's our normal life. It doesn't seem abnormal to us that he's sitting off to the side or that he is not talking, or when I come up to him and I ask him to say hi, he doesn't say anything or he gets grumpy at me. He does love getting his picture taken, and he says cheese and he has his cheese face. So he does like the still pictures being taken, but he doesn't like it being on him for a long period of time. There's a lot of ways that Damon has changed our lives, and one of those is that we're very isolated. We don't get to go out and do things that we used to go do. We used to go fishing all the time, and I think I've been fishing once in the last 3, 4, 5 years maybe. We have to do a lot of doctor's appointments. We've been able to slow down on that, but for a while we couldn't figure out why he wasn't hearing so well, and we couldn't figure out why he was getting sick. We'd done the allergy testing, we'd done CAT scans, and with that, we can't just take him in and go do a CAT scan. When we take him in to go do a CAT scan, we have to put him under, which means then we have to get the physical before we can put him under. When we take him to these doctor's appointment visits, he has a little teddy bear named Scout, and we had a gown made for him. I believe it's Wishers and Dreamers is the name of the place that we sent in an application. And if you have a child that's sick or in the hospital a lot, they will send you a gown for free in the mail. A lot of times when we do take him to the appointments, they are about 3 hours away for some of his appointments, especially the ones where he's put under for anything, whether it be for the dentist or to get his ears cleaned or anything like that. So we have to stay in a hotel a lot. Because of that, he now thinks that when we put the gown on Scout that we're going to stay in a hotel or we're going to go do something fun. And now he's started to learn to like the doctors a little bit better. We still have to put him under for a lot of things, but he is doing better letting them at least check him over. And he's now discovered how to get out of school and get out of things by acting like he's sick and saying, "Doctor, doctor." With getting to know Damon and know some of those things, one of the ways that our family has changed, or it has changed our family, is that we don't like the R word. Right now we've left where you can comment on our YouTube channel because we want the criticism. We want to know if you have a better way of doing something than what we're doing. But with that, we also ask you to refrain from using that word. I've had people in my life that I looked up to or I respected a lot, and that word comes out of their mouth, and no matter how hard I try to get that respect back for them, I've lost respect. We have family that's known Damon his entire life and still use that word every day, all the time. But we also I have a friend that she quit using this word, not because I asked her to, but because she felt uncomfortable saying it in front of me. So with that, I have a lot more respect for my friend because she quit using that word without me saying anything to her than I do for people that don't have it in their vocabulary to come up with a different word. So we do ask that if you push that little button down there and subscribe to us, that if you're going to comment on our channel, you refrain from using the R word, but also any derogatory word, anything that's going to cut anybody else down. If you want to critique us, that's fine. I can take that. But we really ask that you keep in mind other people and what you are saying, and think about what you're saying while you're commenting down below. I'm also going to put a link below of an article that we read today, and I'm just putting it there so that you guys can see how Down syndrome is portrayed in articles and how other countries view Down syndrome. To us, when they're talking about making Down syndrome extinct, they're talking about our child, they're talking about our son, they're talking about something that has changed our lives for the better in so many ways, and they want to take that away completely. With that being said, if you do want to catch a glimpse of Damon on any of our videos, just go ahead and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs down, whatever you feel like doing. But we just want you to be mindful of what you are saying on there and be aware of the fact that it really does hurt us when you use that word. Come say cheese. Hi. Can you say hi? Can you say bye?
Bye.
Say good night.
Not.